You're on.
Perfect. And the tea is ready.
It is.
I love it when it works out that way. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. We are getting started. There we go. All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy Hydration Day. It's Wednesday, January 10th, I think, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us. If you're here, please ask questions. Hydration is one of those topics that is a little bit important.
Yes.
As you wrote in the title of our lovely video today, hydration is life, I believe, right?
It is.
So if you have questions about hydration as we go, if you're having trouble getting fluids in, if you're not sure what to drink, we're going to try to cover a lot of information today. So welcome back. If you're joining us again, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, feel free to drop questions in the chat. We'll answer them live as we see them. And just say hello. We'd love to know where you're watching from. So let's talk hydration. What is hydration? So hydration is about maintaining fluid balance within your body. Your body is made of about 60% water. When you're a baby, you're closer to 75, 80% water. As you age, your body has less water in it. As you gain weight, your body has less water percentage-wise in it. So we have to be very mindful of how much fluid you have in your body. And then if you have fluid in places in your body that it's not supposed to be, we need to take a look at that too. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
So water's hard for people.
Water's hard for me, so I can't even imagine how hard it is for someone who has difficulty swallowing in general.
In general, yeah. So water is important for digestion, which means when you put food in your body needs it in order to process the food you put in your body. Mm-hmm. It's important for absorption, which means that food that you put in that's getting digested, you can't absorb it properly without hydration. Mm-hmm. It's helpful for elimination. For anyone who's having constipation, fluid is really, really helpful. Hey, Pauline, so nice to see you. Yes, please ask questions as you have them. Okay, my dear?
Yes, Pauline, you're up late, my dear.
No, she is. Okay, so waste management, getting rid of waste. If you're having to pee all the time, that's frustrating. But if you're not peeing enough, we need to make sure that you're moving that waste through your bloodstream, because your kidneys get rid of waste with water. So if your urine gets really dark, it's typically because you don't have enough water in your body, and your body's still trying to get rid of waste, but not getting rid of fluid, because you need to have enough water in your body, okay? Your bloodstream is made up of water. Your lymphatic system, which we don't talk about a whole lot, is made up of water, but that's how things are transported in your body, is through water. So water is really, really important. If you're needing to move, athletes need more water than the average person. Your brain, which we're going to talk about here in a second when Stephanie walks back over here. So I already talked about digestion and excretion, but what about detoxing? Getting rid of stuff that's not supposed to be there. So detoxing happens through your liver and through your kidneys. So we want them to be functioning really, really well. We need to have enough water in our bodies for your liver to do its job and your kidneys to do their jobs. So let's talk about the brain and water.
Yes.
With our resident brain expert here.
Oh,
why does your brain need water?
Well, number one, you already said the body is made up of a very large percentage of water. Well, you've got fluids that go through your brain. You've got...
So your brain, your cerebrospinal fluid?
Yes.
And then you have blood vessels, right?
Yes, and that is vital. That is absolutely vital. The blood going through those vessels need your hydration to be able to move through.
Yeah. So I am doing a challenge. Hey, Karen, nice to see you as well.
Are you back in Georgia or are you still in Florida?
This is an important one. Yes.
I know.
So I am doing a challenge with a group that I'm a part of, and it's a 90-day challenge. And one of the requirements is to drink a gallon of water a day. Lord help me.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do it. I would have.
You'll need to be online.
Oh, Google is talking to us. So here's the thing though. The first couple of days, and I screwed up one of the days, and it wasn't the water that I screwed up one of the days, so I had to start over. But I got up late on a weekend day, still in Florida, driving home. Okay, well, you be safe, my dear. So I got up late one day after I'd had like a gallon of water each day for 2 or 3 days. Got up late, didn't start drinking my water until like noon. I had the worst headache. Hi, Amber. Nice of you to join us. So why did I have a headache? After going from drinking a gallon of water regularly throughout the day, of course, in intervals, and then I didn't drink water.
Because your brain was needing that water to move things around, move that blood around.
Gotten myself into a routine, and then I dropped the ball, right? So I did end up getting a gallon in that day, but my head hurt really bad. So I learned that I have to do better earlier in the day. So detoxification, and then your skin health. Your skin needs hydration. We end up, especially this time of year, when the air is really dry. We have snow on the ground right now. You need that water in your body. Hey, Kara, so that your skin can be healthy enough, so it doesn't get super dry and cracking. Like I have cracks on my knuckles because I washed my hands, and even though I'm drinking a gallon of water, I'm still dry in my skin.
And so if you think about it, your skin is the largest organ that you have on your body or in your body.
Yep.
So if you can tell that your skin is dehydrated, can you imagine what your other organs are like? So think about it. Your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your brain, everything inside your body is an organ, just like, well, not just like your skin, but is an organ. If your skin is dry, so is everything else.
And let's talk about skin health a little more in depth. It's black. Kara says, oh no, it's black. Our screen is black too.
That's why I was trying to get it pulled up here.
Okay. Facebook doesn't like us for some reason, so you know, we're trying to make sure.
It's showing on here.
It's showing up over there. Okay. So the other thing with dehydration in your skin, long-term dehydration in your skin can lead to premature wrinkling. So you need to stay hydrated, right? Because some of us, we like to think about our skin health and how we look. And so, yes, you can get all the creams and that, but just focus on getting enough hydration in first, especially for those of you with dysphagia. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we move on. But the amount of water you need depends on your age, your gender. Typically, men need more than women. So we've got that going for us.
Well, that helps me none.
True story.
Thank you.
It actually doesn't. I know. The climate. So if you live at a higher altitude, you need more fluid because it's drier at higher altitudes, which makes sense because if you're closer to sea level, there's more moisture in the air.
True.
Physical activity, which I already mentioned, and then your health status. Depending on your health, you need more fluids. So for those of you that have dysphagia, you need more fluids, and you end up in this cycle because you can't get them in, but you need more. And so that's one of the things we focus on pretty hardcore. So besides water, what else do you need? Any ideas? You guys want to throw in the chat what other nutrients besides water you need for hydration? Give me some ideas in the chat here. I'm going to have a drink of my tea. Electrolytes, yep. Amber, give me a little more. What are electrolytes? Tell me what they are. I'll give you a hint. Here's one of them. We like this one a lot. Yes, Pauline, salt. So salt is an electrolyte. So for those of you that need salt, I recommend a salt like Celtic sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, so the pink kind, because it's got even more minerals in it than just sodium chloride. So we also like potassium, found in bananas, found in tomatoes, avocado, potato, oranges, other citrus fruits. We really like potassium. So salt is important for fluid balance. So that means keeping the water in our body where we need it. We need it in our blood vessels. We want it to stay in our blood vessels. It's when it gets outside of the blood vessels that we have a little bit of trouble. This is where people end up with what they call edema or swelling. When women talk about fluid retention, it's because it's in places it's not supposed to be in, right? So we want to get that fluid back into our blood vessels. So making sure we have the appropriate amount of salt. Also protein plays a role, but we're not going to talk about protein a whole lot. But I just want to throw that out there because protein is really important for keeping your blood in your blood vessels. Sodium helps with your nerves sending signals properly.
Very important.
Very.
Because we're talking signals all the time with people about the signal from your brain to your swallowing mechanism and then back to your brain.
And then also your muscles. And we talk about small muscles, right? You talk about small muscles.
Yes.
You need salt for those muscles to function properly.
Right. And so let's talk a little bit about, I know that a lot of people have been made very anxious about salt, about no added salt. No, I can't have salt. My doctor told me I couldn't have salt. We've heard that a lot. And then we look at people's food logs and it's like, oh my gosh, they need salt.
You have no salt in here. You're not eating any salt.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not good either.
So I love this topic because there's new research coming out that is showing that your body will process salt really, really well. Your kidneys are programmed by God to get rid of salt through your urine when you have extra in your body. We run into trouble when you're not processing sugar in your body well enough. So it's not actually a problem of salt most of the time. It's a problem of blood sugar management. Did we freeze?
I'm frozen on this one.
Okay.
Nope. It
All
may
right.
just be, this is a...
Did y'all catch that? If you did, put sugar in the comments. Because sugar is not actually necessary. We don't need to eat sugar. We do need to eat salt. So managing blood sugar is more important, thank you, Kara, than managing salt intake. So here's the thing though, because we have some chicken broth here. So chicken broth, soup, really important for A, fluid, and B, protein, right? We like soup because a lot of times it's easier to get in. So I buy the 33% less sodium broth also because I like to have control.
Right. That's why we buy it, because
I want to add salt myself.
right. I have high sugar and low sodium. Can't win.
Yeah. So
Karen.
I focus more on getting sodium in, because when you have low sodium in your bloodstream, typically it's because you're getting rid of too much and you're not getting enough in. Your body just has trouble with balance. So then we focus more on the sugar aspect. And blood sugar management also plays a part with protein. We need protein. I said I wasn't going to say it again, but it's all related, right? We need enough protein in our diets for a lot of reasons.
Well, and we talk protein a lot, and this is why, because it's like this beautiful symphony. Your body works with all of these things. Hydration is just one part of it, and that's why we're talking about this today. and we'll talk about other things later.
Yep.
But your body needs all of it.
Together, working together. Yeah, you're hit the nail on the head.
You taught me so well.
You taught me pretty well too, my friend. All right, so we talked about potassium a little bit too. Potassium, really important for fluid balance, helps keep fluid where it's supposed to be, but even more importantly, it helps with signals specifically for your heart. So having the correct amount of potassium helps with nerve signaling and muscle contraction. And we're not talking, I mean, we are talking muscle contraction of skeletal muscles, but we're talking muscle contraction of involuntary muscles like your heart. So it's really important to have enough potassium in your body and to care for those kidneys by drinking enough fluid so that your kidneys can get rid of what you don't need.
Right.
So potassium, really, really important. Chloride, found in table salt, which is sodium chloride. So chloride we typically get enough of because it's in table salt as long as we're taking in table salt. So chloride also helps with fluid balance. So sodium is positive, chloride is negative. They go together. We need positive and negative in all aspects of our life, but especially with our minerals. Magnesium. That's what I forgot to ask you about.
I can go grab it.
Will you go grab it? Okay. We'll come back to magnesium. I'm going to move to calcium real quick though. So calcium, we know about it for bone health. Everybody put bone health in the comments. Calcium is talked about for bone health, but did you know there are like 20 something other minerals that are important for bone health? So we want you to have calcium. Calcium also helps with your muscle contractions, okay? So we want to make sure you're getting enough calcium in your fluids. So we really like milk. Thank you. Thank you, Megan, Karen, Kara, beautiful. We want to keep your bones nice and healthy. So while we want you to have enough calcium, typically they add, so I have oat milk here, and it has calcium added. We have coconut milk here. It also has calcium added. It's so important. They put it right on the front. And then regular cow's milk, full of calcium. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Suzanne. I love you guys. You're so wonderful. So calcium is important for bones, but it's also important for muscles and nerves because your nerves can't function properly without the calcium. The other thing we don't talk about calcium for, but it's integral, is blood clotting. So anyone that doesn't have the right ratios of calcium in their body has trouble with blood clotting, which is a problem, right? So we always focus on vitamin K for blood clotting, but calcium is just as important. So
now I know I have had trouble getting enough calcium because dairy and me don't get along very well.
Right.
So that's why I do some of these that are calcium added. But I have found that there is an orange juice that has calcium.
They often add calcium to orange juice for this reason. Yes. So now I feel like you guys have a general good idea of calcium. Let's talk about magnesium. So magnesium is important for over 300 functions in the body, and we don't get enough. It's calming. It helps people with anxiety. It's good for your bones. It's one of the most important for your bones. It's helpful for your nerves. It's helpful for your digestion. It's helpful for excretion or getting rid of waste. It's helpful for blood sugar control.
Right. So because it's good for relaxation and calming, it also helps you to sleep, which is another vital thing that your body needs. So if you're having trouble sleeping, I only take this at night.
I also take it.
But I don't take it every night because
it sometimes makes you have to go.
It will, yes.
Because it calms that digestive system also.
It does. So it relaxes
I don't even know how many different forms of magnesium. So this is magnesium carbonate, and it's got citric acid in it, so that when you put it in water, it forms magnesium citrate, which is really easy for your body to digest, but it can also cause some loose stools if you take too much. So Amber, it's called Calm. Can you?
Yes.
Right there. So it's called Calm. It's a powder that you put in water, so it's drinkable. You don't have to take it in pill form, which is why I like it. You can buy it at just about any store, Costco, Walmart, Amazon. You can find it all over the place. You also don't have to buy a big container like that. I buy the big container like that.
Well, it comes with a scoop when you buy
That's true, it does. But
I got this on Amazon.
I buy mine at Costco. But I also...
But it lasts forever.
I also make my husband take it. And then he sleeps better.
Well, you don't make him.
True, I give him the option.
You do.
He doesn't have to drink it.
That's right.
You're right.
It's not a dictatorship.
I don't force him. That's true. I do not. So magnesium supplements, because we often don't eat enough foods that have magnesium in them, especially for those of you with dysphagia, because foods that have magnesium are really hard to swallow. So nuts, seeds, green leafy vegetables, they're like the worst for people with dysphagia.
Yes.
So I like supplements. If you can find one that's in a powder form or in a capsule that you can open and put in something, that's the best way to take it. So I've become more of a fan of supplements lately, just because sometimes we have to do extra to get enough into our bodies.
Well, and particularly if you have dysphagia and you're not able to get certain things in, a supplement is better than nothing.
100%. 100%. Whole grains. Ooh.
In a cream form.
Pauline, can you send us a picture of that? I bet that's fancy. I think that would be really helpful for people if it were magnesium in a cream form, because it might be easier to swallow that way.
Right. Unless she's talking about like
they do make topicals that are absolutely absorbable. So that's a good option. You can get magnesium oil or creams. I forget about those.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean, Pauline? Like the cream that you put on your skin? Yeah. Okay. So we typically talk about using potassium for muscle cramps or salt for muscle cramps, but I find a lot of the time it's magnesium related. And so that can be helpful for topical, but it can also be helpful for taking it in this form to help with cramping, especially if you're working out. And when I say working out, I mean doing exercises for your swallowing or for your body. Either way.
Right, and that is one of the reasons why Kat and I are so particular about when we start swallowing exercises, because I want to make sure that we've got the right nutrients in you before we start using those muscles in ways that they're not used to.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
We do a swallow systems review very early, but we may not address some of the exercises until later.
Yeah. So Suzanne says there are magnesium sprays also. Very true. I forget about those as well. You're so right. Suzanne, if you have any recommendations too, Suzanne is a dietitian friend of ours. So if you have any recommendations for anyone in the group, we would love to hear your recommendations, Suzanne. Thank you. And then, so I have one other mineral I'm going to talk about today, and that's phosphorus. So phosphorus is really important for energy. So phosphorus is one of the main molecules that moves energy around in your body. So it helps your muscles. It helps your bones. It's one of the main minerals in your bones. When people have kidney disease, it's one that we focus on. Like we drive home phosphorus really hard, but we don't talk about it until you have kidney disease, which is a problem because it's something we should talk about before. Most of us get enough in our diet. It's in everything. So hydration is about more than just water. We like electrolytes. All of these are important, and they're not the only ones, might I add. There are a lot more.
And the point that we're getting to is that there are so many ways to address hydration.
Tea, broth. Milk. So let's talk about foods. So I'm sensitive to, like, lime and lemon don't agree with me as much as I want them to because I love them. But grapefruit and I get along. So in order to get my water down, I've been adding grapefruit juice to my water every day because it gives me some of those electrolytes and it gives a flavor that I like. So I add grapefruit juice. You could add lemon juice. If you don't want to use a whole lemon like this, you can just buy the lemon juice in the bottle. Yeah. But if you have any food sensitivities, you might want to use just a fruit.
But yeah, you could, any fruit that you put in water.
True story. You
could
can
give you just a little bit of flavor.
Apples. Cucumbers.
That's a good one.
I'm a huge fan of cucumbers if you like them. They're one of the most hydrating foods out there because they're mostly made of water. So let's talk about some foods that are super high water content. So we had a client recently ask us about juicing.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a juicer and I've always wanted one. So it's on my wish list from Santa maybe for next year. Who knows?
I had one that I acquired through family and it didn't last forever, but
I think they get a lot of abuse with all the stuff you put in them. So
yeah, we may have abused it a little more than it
needed
to be, but
so
we really didn't know how to use it. But
so let's talk foods that are high in hydration, high in water content. So cucumbers are the highest.
Cool.
Yeah, and they puree well.
Yeah.
Some you do have to scrape up the seeds in the middle, but they puree pretty darn well. The next one is celery. It's got a lot of fiber in it though, so it can be hard to swallow.
That would be a hard dysphagia one. There is celery in there.
I like to put celery in my soup because it breaks down really easy and it purees well once it's cooked.
Right. And one of the things about a soup that you just kind of cook all day long is that they usually puree very well. This is a beef and barley, and I didn't know how it would puree because it's beef, and beef doesn't often puree very well. It pureed beautifully.
Yeah, it cooked down really nicely, you said. Yeah. So tomatoes, high water content. When you cook them down, you end up with a ton of water in them. Bell peppers. And a lot of these are also really high in vitamin C as well. Watermelon. For anyone that wants to puree watermelon, we've done it a couple of times. It's got a lot of pulp in it, so sometimes you just want to strain it out. I just put it in a strainer and just squeeze it, push it with a spoon, whatever. Put it in a cheesecloth and squeeze it out, however you want to do it.
And honestly, just about any kind of fruit, I can't eat like after 7 p.m. or else I'll be up all night.
Yep.
And it's because there's so much water in it. I don't eat grapes. I don't eat apples. I don't eat peaches or pears after 7 p.m.
All of the above, high in hydration, high in water. So then I'm also going to add strawberries, cantaloupe, oranges, lettuce, zucchini. And then we forget about dairy, but like yogurt and milk also have a good, especially non-fat yogurt because there's no fat in it. So it's all, there's some solids in there, but there's a lot of liquid in there too. We just can't tell because it's been cultured, so it's a little bit thicker. Okay, so hydration. You have any questions? How do we get water in? Do any of you have any questions about how you get water in?
Or do you have troubles getting in enough water because of your swallowing?
I also didn't show your fun.
If you're not a fan of water's flavor, which is essentially nothing, and you don't want to add fruit to it to add flavor, they do have these handy dandy little.
You just add a squeeze. One of our clients today, I think she's on right now, told us about this fancy hydration drops that has literally nothing in it except good minerals.
It's buoy.
Yes, ma'am, Pauline. that fresh milk on your cereal will help with your hydration. That's true. Yes, it will. Buoy.
B-U-O-Y.
Yes, Buoy hydration drops. I have it bookmarked here so I can get some. And I already sent it to one of our other clients because I know she's been looking for a way to get in electrolytes because she can't have any of those fruits. So
right.
It's going to come in handy, I think. So Buoy, yes. So thank you for that recommendation. So how do we get hydration in? So I brought a couple of tools with me today. Well, I stole some from you. Measuring cups. Can y'all see my measuring cups here? Mm-mm. Not quite. So I have this cup that is 40 ounces. Can we get an England cat? The Buoy, I would assume that we can, Paulina. I'll have to follow up on that for you.
Just Google it.
Yeah, B-U-O-Y electrolytes. So I have a 40-ounce cup that I use. For a lot of people, this is overwhelming. So what do we do?
Break it down into smaller parts.
So for a lot of clients, I also have this half-gallon bottle. And I haven't used it recently because it's terrible to drink out of. And especially if you have dysphagia, like tipping it upside down, not a good idea.
No, I don't recommend it.
Or you have to use a straw, and the straw that it came with is terrible. So, but here's what I would do. I'd fill it up, so it has 64 ounces, and then I'd take my 1 ounce shot glass, and then I time these out. And I like these little shot glasses because they have the amounts on the side, so you can track it. And I like tracking. Anyone who's worked with me knows I like tracking. Oh yeah, Suzanne, hydration IV. We have recommended to several people to get IV fluids, so to have an IV placed. But there's also other supplements like Liquid IV, which is another packet.
Yeah.
There's Element, spelled L-M-N-T. That's I really want to try them. I just haven't purchased any because it's not. There are other ways we can do it. Coconut water.
Oh, that's a good one.
We've talked about that. We've done some recipes with coconut water. Oh, yep. Amber Drip Drop. That's another good one.
That's another good one. Yeah.
There are a lot.
And we've had a number of clients that before they started working with us were actually going to ER to get IV fluids frequently because they just couldn't get enough in.
And so if you're overwhelmed, yes, Suzanne. Yeah, I got you. If you're having trouble getting in, I would set a goal. So dietitians calculate out needs, right? We take your weight and we divide it by this and we multiply it by that to give you this is how much you should be drinking. It's really kind of silly.
It's not. I mean, it's important.
It's important, but is it realistic? Right?
Well, for me, no.
Correct. So, but if you're exercising, you need more fluid. You want to read that?
Love that idea for transferring water to smaller glass. My cardiologist suggested I get more electrolytes. Yes, because this, if I knew that every hour I had to drink 2 of these or however many, I could do that. But if I was told I have to drink this in a day,
she would punch me.
I would say, okay, but I would be so overwhelmed, I probably wouldn't even start.
Yeah. So here's the other reason I like the Blend Jet, because it has these amounts on the side, right? So even if you don't have a measuring cup, but you have a Blend Jet, you can use this to measure. So what I would do is I would take my bigger one and I'd pour it, whether it's in a 2-cup measure or a 1-cup measure. And then I would say, okay, this is 8 ounces. If I need to get 64 ounces in a day, I need 8 of these a day. Now, for anyone that's not getting in 64 ounces a day, we're not going to start you there. If you're only getting in 24 ounces, we're going to start you at trying to get 28 ounces and then 30 ounces and then 32 ounces. So we're going to work towards increasing gradually. So I, on occasion, see patients that have bariatric surgery. So those patients, their stomach is made very small, right? So they literally cannot fit things in. Yep. Can't do the big container. 8 ounces is what I use. There's a reason for that, because our brains can't always handle that.
I would just know that I'm going to fail and not try it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is
doable. So what we tell our bariatric surgery patients, especially right after surgery, so they've just had surgery on their stomachs, right? They're in pain. They've got other things going on. They've been on all these meds. They're expected to drink 1 ounce every 15 minutes. Now, I usually tell people, get a sheet of paper and write it down. So then I'll do 1 ounce. And if I have more than one glass, I'll do 2 ounces. And you can get the little plastic ounce cups at different stores.
well, I mean, even something like these.
Yep. That's 1 ounce. And they usually come in a pack of like 50 or 100. So if you, this is 2 ounces. It says 2 ounces on the back there. Okay. So I would just set them up on the counter and I would fill them up, and maybe you set a timer on your phone. Maybe you maybe you're someone like me that can't sit still, even though you need to sit still to preserve calories. So every time you walk by, you take a sip. Or maybe you have a little tray and you take it to wherever your bed is or your couch is, wherever you're at, and you set it there so that every time your show starts, or every commercial, you take a sip. You have to set up the game in your head so that it's doable for you.
Right. So working with a client the other night, and she told us, I don't think I even drank any water today. She was having a bad day, and she knew she needed it, but she didn't. She was too overwhelmed.
Yep.
So we gave her some strategies, but I also asked her to write down a commitment statement that I will drink 2 cups of water tomorrow. But I wanted her to write it because I wanted her to see it. I wanted it to be a goal that she could see, that she could read, and that she committed to.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she did.
Yeah.
She said, that was so good. I've started writing things down that I want to accomplish.
And so she said, I'm getting shot glass now. Great ideas. Okay, so these are from Walmart. They're like 99 cents a piece.
You could go to the dollar store and
I also have a 2 ounce one, but it was in my dishwasher, so I didn't bring it. But that one is also, it's a little plastic one. I use it to measure out like the milk or milk substitute that I put in my coffee. Because I don't need a lot. I just need a little bit of flavor now and again. So I just do 2 ounces in my coffee. And it works really well. So get strategies. Yeah, Suzanne, writing out goals is great advice. I bet you do this as well. So you matter. Your goals have to mean something to you. Why are you trying to get the hydration in? We covered a lot of information today. There is a reason, and a lot of times it's because you want to live a big life. You want to be able to use that brain and not feel foggy all the time, or not have a headache, or not be in pain. And for issues like kidney stones or gout, we always say push fluids, because we need to flush your body out. And for anyone that has autoimmune stuff going on, you need extra fluid. But you also need electrolytes. So water is not always the most beneficial thing on its own. We need to make sure that you're getting other nutrients also. Yeah, so writing out your goals. And we like to have our clients write out goals. Because then they can see them. And then it's easier to put a plan in place to get there if you write out a goal. So Pauline, how much water do you need? Well, we'll talk about that with you. We'll touch base and we'll tell you how much water you need, because the other thing I usually start with before we tell you how much you need is, how much are you getting in right now? Can you quantify it, or can you measure it out so that you know how much you're getting right now? So I have clients track things. I have them track the tea that they drink.
Right.
I'm tracking my water.
Your very large amounts of water.
And it's overwhelming when I think about it. So I break it into smaller.
Yep.
So I fill up, when I'm at home, I get a mason jar because it's got the notches on the side that tells you how much is in it. And I'll take my lid off and I'll pour it in my mason jar so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. I do it too. Because we are not meant to handle super large tasks all at one time. We need to break things down and handle things step by step by step.
So once you can figure out how much you're getting right now, set a goal that I'm going to get 2 ounces more tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm going to do 64 ounces tomorrow.
Right.
Well, you're going to stay in the bathroom. I promise.
Right.
Instead, just say, I will add 2 extra ounces tomorrow.
Yep.
Or I will try to get 1 extra bottle of water
Yep.
and sip on it throughout the day. Or whatever it may be. Start where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to reach something that you're not close to yet. You've got to take baby steps, and that's okay.
Yeah. And this is why I start people out by asking if they have a shot glass. And they always look at me funny. I'm like, no, not for alcohol. We're not talking alcohol. We're talking a way to measure what you're doing. Because if when you get up in the morning and you have water, you pour yourself water, you just started your day with an ounce of water. And that's great for you. Mm-hmm. You're the most dehydrated that you're going to be first thing in the morning, because hopefully you slept.
Hopefully.
And if you're hydrated well enough, not so well that you have to get up and pee all the time, but if you're hydrated well enough, you're going to sleep better.
That's true.
So, hydration is important.
It is important.
And it's going to get you to the next set of goals in your life by making sure that we are getting you hydrated enough. Tea, soup, milk, broth.
Or just good old-fashioned water.
Or just good old-fashioned water. Juice does count. Soda does not count as hydration. Soda counts as dehydration. The more sugar you take in, the more water you have to take in. So drink less sugar, eat less sugar, drink more water. You can buy shot glasses at a wine and liquor store, fairly inexpensive as well. Some even have the measurements on the side. I love the ones with the measurements on the side. I even use these for cooking, like when I'm measuring out like oil or anything, because it's got tablespoons, it's got teaspoons, and it's got ounces. So yes, Amber, that's a great suggestion. Yeah, absolutely.
Should we talk about our membership real
Let's
quick?
talk about the membership real quick. Monday was so great.
I couldn't sleep because I was so excited and happy for the group that came together on Monday night in our membership portal.
Yeah, we did a live Q&A. Some of you were there. It was really, really wonderful.
It was fun to watch. It was amazing. Thank you, Pauline.
Thanks for being there.
And thanks for being there. Mm-hmm. It was really cool and heartwarming to see all that were there supporting each other in ways that we couldn't do it. So the support groups on Facebook and wherever are great.
They're wonderful.
But being face to face with each other was truly amazing. And
so my take on it was when we were coming up with the idea for a Q&A, like we did one back in October and November, and it was great because people asked us questions, they got answers, but I didn't expect what happened to happen.
Right.
So Stephanie and I basically took a step back, and they asked each other questions, and they gave each other answers. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It was so powerful.
It was very powerful. And I think just being vulnerable with each other is easier because you know they understand.
Yeah. And I think being able to be vulnerable with a group of people when you can't be vulnerable with anyone else is, it takes away some of the anxiety and stress of it. So I just started shivering. I just got like, it was so incredible.
It was. Now our next session will be a master class, which means we're still going to be live.
Yep.
And people can ask questions about what we're teaching.
Yep.
We have so it'll be Kat and I teaching this month, but we have guest speakers lined up for months coming up.
Yep.
Should we tell them what next month is? I think we should tell them what next month is.
If you think we should, yes, I think so, because I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be really cool.
I am.
But first I want to say our masterclass in the membership is going to be on Wednesday the 17th, which is next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
So if you're not in the membership, go sign up. We'll post the link.
Right. And so every month we're going to try different times. I know some of you aren't able. We had it at what, 3:00 Mondays?
On Monday.
In our time zone, but that makes it odd times for people in other time zones. So we're going to try different times and see what's best, and maybe we'll just keep moving them around so that everybody has an opportunity, hopefully, to find something in a good time for themselves.
And let us know.
And it's always available for replay in the portal that we have set up for it. But let's talk. Next month's masterclass is going to be on choking.
Yes.
So I know that people with dysphagia typically, I shouldn't say typically, some have super high anxiety about choking.
Yes, there's fear there.
So what do you do if you are choking? What do you do if someone else is choking? We have a registered nurse who is a CPR trainer that will be teaching how to manage if you are choking yourself and you're alone, or if your loved one is choking, and how to manage that. So that is our February class.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really interesting and helpful. And my hope is that by giving you this information, it's going to decrease that anxiety about what you do if you're ever in that situation, because you are strong. You know things. You all are smart, and we want you to have the tools to protect yourself if you're ever. So next week's class is just going to be on a basic dysphagia and nutrition, just a sort of recap of everything dysphagia related.
Right.
That's the masterclass.
That's
we have
next
right
week.
Now.
The February masterclass will be on choking.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm really excited. We've got so many ideas, you guys, and we just want to give you what you need. So I can't wait to see how you support each other moving forward in this membership. And yeah. Oh,
All right.
made my week.
So you guys have a great week. We are expecting a snowstorm this
we are.
weekend. So think about us if you're in sunny areas of the country.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Stay hydrated, y'all.